Welcome to episode 12 of the T.O.D. Project, brought to you by Triumph Company with your hosts, Marselis and Jared Klein. Today on the T.O.D. Project, special guest Tim Sloma, along with Marselis and Jared, go into the journey and the grind it takes to jump headfirst into what you want to do, as well as going into finding that purpose, developing that purpose, and sticking to that purpose throughout your whole journey. Make sure to get connected with Triumph Company on Instagram at Triumph Company US, as well as visiting their website, triumphcompany.us, while using the code TOD10, that is TOD10, for 10% off your order at checkout. Also, make sure to subscribe to the TOD Project on YouTube and follow the podcast on Spotify. Mine as well, right? Mine as well. Finally, make sure to follow our special guest Tim on Instagram, which is at T Sloma 11. That is TSLOMA 11. With that, sit back, relax, and open your minds for today's episode. Welcome back on this great Wednesday evening. At least at the time of the recording, it's Wednesday evening, to episode 12 of the TOD Project. Obviously, it's brought to you by Triumph Company, as you guys heard in the intro, and we have an amazing special guest on today. This has been someone, at least I have been just waiting to connect with again. It's been a while since we've connected. Marselis gets to talk to him day in, day out. So this is going to be a good one. We're very familiar with this special guest. He's a man that's impacted both of our lives immensely. His name is Tim Sloma. He'll get here in a little bit and be able to introduce himself to you guys. But obviously, if you're on YouTube, you can see his face in the face cam. So Tim, how you doing today, my man?
Feeling abundant. I'm feeling good. I'm super excited, and I'm blessed to be here.
Awesome. Marcellus, how about you?
Man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. And I can't even have any hate. So if somebody's negative, I can't relate. Yeah, I got rhymes,
y'all. Always slick with the rhymes. So what's been up lately? Tim? How you been?
Been good, man. I mean, this year has been crazy. I'm back in Chicago now. Extremely unfortunate. I was in Miami the first 7 days of the year, then spent 7 or 8, something like that. Spent the last 10 in Guadalajara and then Tulum, Mexico, and just been out and about, man. Just living life, really enjoying it. There's not that many people traveling, so you might as well be out and enjoy the the free space while it's there.
100%.
Business has been good. Life has been good. Things are just good. Just super grateful, man. Every day is a little bit overwhelming, but when you ask for life to be overwhelming, God's going to give it to you. So it's all about how you react to, handling that, whether or not you're going to get more of it. But I can't complain on this side of the world.
Oh, yeah. Geez, I wouldn't either. I mean,
Sheesh.
Miami, 1 week and a half, Tulum and Guadalajara for another. Damn. Now you're back in Chicago. You're hating this cold weather.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to get sick in Chicago just with how cold it is. I went to 15 countries last year, didn't get sick. And I'm going to come here to Chicago for a couple of days, and now I feel like I'm about to die.
It's just that it's that Midwest. It's that Midwest cold that just smacks you in the fucking face.
I refuse to wear a jacket too. That's the worst. Like I won't accept the reality that it's cold. So like I just suffer a little bit, and I'm like, all right, I'll just sit in this car till it warms up and life will be good.
Dang. Hey, that may be a sign to move to a hotter climate. Miami's calling your name, bro. Mike already done moved down there, dude. You done been down there. I'm pretty sure you like it in Miami. Do you like it there?
Man, it's going to be, I'll tell you something. It's going to be Texas or it's going to be Florida this year. It's going to be one of the two, but it's definitely not the Midwest.
Yeah, I don't see myself staying in the Midwest for more than, if I'm here in 10 years, bro, I got something wrong with myself.
You need to shorten that timeline, bro. You need to be like, if I'm here in like 3 years, like I need to change something.
Yeah, that's very true. I probably should shorten that timeline.
That's how I feel about Tennessee. Like really.
Yo, Tennessee's on the list. I'm not against Tennessee. They got the 1% state tax. It's better than 5% here in Illinois. Yeah, I'm moving because of taxes. You know me. So we're not going to get into this because this is recorded. It's being posted. So I'm a little bit more reserved in my conversation there. But yeah, I'm getting out.
I feel you. Well, it makes sense. Matter of fact, I thought it was 3%. If it's 1%, then dang, I might need to stay.
I think it depends. It's like I've been doing some research. There's like an asterisk. So there's probably like, the little loopholes and little things you got to do. And, people figure it out.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Especially you, man. You're like a glitch in the system, man. You know all the hacks and tricks. You know on GTA how they got the game codes, the cheat codes. This man know the cheat codes when it comes to taxes. I'm like, bro, did you really write some toilet paper off? What?
Yeah, it's office supplies, bro.
Office supplies. Jesus Christ.
So Tim, I heard you were, man, a cold footballer, man. I heard you had the moves out there on the soccer field. I heard you was the man. So a little bit about that. You play college ball and stuff, right? Were you ever inspiring to go pro?
Yeah, so I started playing soccer really young. I had more opportunity to go actually play overseas when I was younger. My neighbor, one of my best friends, his dad owned a couple teams in Ecuador. My parents were against it, so I never really went with that. Played, was top 10 in the state. I don't know what the rankings were, but our high school team and our travel team, not professional team, and then went to college with that. Was looking to go play a little bit bigger in college, but like the private school idea, there's no restrictions on internationals coming in. So we were playing kids who were playing on the U19s, U23s, teams with 15 different countries on it. It was way more competitive.
Wow.
And I wanted a little bit more of the ministry background hooked to soccer. So I went that route. I came in, I broke my ankle, then I tore my hamstring, and then I broke my back. And so
one after the other just piles on.
The first 2 years were pretty rough. They kept my scholarship. That was super awesome. I ended up becoming a captain for 2 years after that. And it was an amazing experience. I think if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I definitely would have had a difficult transition from being an athlete to being like a normal person. For anyone who's played sports at that level, like you're different. And business really got me into that mindset of like, there's no difference between being an athlete and going pro in your sport, and then being an entrepreneur and going pro in your industry. So I really just kind of took my mindset from sports, brought it into business. And that's what aligned a lot of my leadership skills and being able to help different groups of people. Is because in sports, especially in the college game, you have people coming from all over the world, all over the US. So you can't cookie cut lead people. So yeah, man, soccer is a big part of my life. It's a big part of my leadership development. And I'm so grateful for it. I still play here and there. I feel like an old man, so I can't always keep up with people, but I love it. It's the world's most beautiful game.
What position were you at?
So growing up, I played a lot of offense, striker or right wing. And high school, I played.
Okay.
Yeah, I played a little bit of center back. Like in the mid, but ended up playing mostly right defense. We played a 4-2-3-1. So our outside backs were kind of midfielders. So in order to play in that position, you had to be really fit because you were just running up and down the whole entire time. So that was kind of our role, to play both ends of the field. And I loved it. I loved playing defense. It was a whole different dynamic and it allowed you to be a little bit more aggressive. And I liked that too. So yeah, right defense was where I was at.
Ooh,
also
Danny Alves action, who
Sergio
else is
Ramos.
Sir, he wasn't right defense. He's the center half.
Yeah, but those are some of the people I grew up looking up to. I remember being obsessed with I'm not going to say David Beckham, and I can't remember the name now because now I'm on the spot. If I remember, I'll bring it up. But just being like obsessed with players and like watching their YouTube clips. I don't know if you guys ever did that. You watch like, players like YouTube clips before a game. You're like, cool, I'm Messi now. And so doing that growing up all the time, like I just remember like, it brings back memories. Being a kid was fun.
I look back on it way too much, to be honest. Like, damn, if I could just be 15 again and just be running around doing whatever the fuck I want.
So think about that. Like, if you had the opportunity to get like $10 million right now, or go back to being 12, what would you do?
I mean, I'd probably go 10 million, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
I'd go 10 million.
Well, I mean, if I'm 26, right?
Right.
So if I was 12, that's 14 years ago. Bitcoin came out about 11 years ago.
Oh, so
You see what he did
you
for
would keep
us?
all the knowledge. You would keep all the knowledge.
Oh,
Yeah,
you would keep all the knowledge.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you would know everything. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
I'm going back in time and I'm robbing banks. You know,
I'm
I'm robbing.
betting.
I'm betting on everything. Super Bowls, World Cups, like I'm betting on everything, and then just the massive dump into
Bro,
Bitcoin.
you're gonna be a trillionaire. You do that.
Honestly, toss my whole family's life savings into Bitcoin if I could
You
go
know, you
back
got to
11
sell the house.
years
We're gonna
ago.
be
Right.
homeless for a decade, but if we can be homeless for a decade, I promise you, we're gonna live like kings after. You know.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when you put it that way, keep all the knowledge. Okay, yeah, I can see that. I can see
Yeah, for
that.
sure.
If you're saying if you're saying go back to 12 where you were at 12, not a chance. There's no way in hell I'd do that. For $10 million?
But with that mindset though, what would you do? Would you sell like snacks and candy and stuff in the schools? Like, what would you do to get the capital at 12? Because you can't work a job or anything, and I'm pretty sure you probably can't get a loan at 12. Maybe you might be able to. I don't know, but our credit card, I don't know, but you know, what would you do if you was at 12 to start from there to start building up capital and getting into business?
Me personally, I would be at the accounting firm, so like I would have a game plan. But like,
okay.
I think the average person, I would be like, yo, you gotta start hustling, man. Like, you need to get into the sneaker game, the card game. You need to sell candy. You need to do. I mean, at that point, like, think about it. Like, what were people saying back a couple of years ago? Like, if you invested $100, you were a millionaire. You know, so it's not like you needed a lot. It's not like you needed to become a millionaire. I mean, you'd be pretty wealthy. You know, but I don't think you need that much money. You figure it out.
Mm-hmm. So I guess we didn't really go over this, but I guess give the people a rundown of who you are. Obviously, we went into the soccer, the whole soccer. I mean, football. I don't know what kind of person you are around that.
It doesn't matter to me.
Okay, because oh my god, it was horrible when we had Hope on. I think it was episode 4 or 5. She's from London, so I mean they all call it football, and I was calling it soccer, and she paused me a little bit every once in a while. I was like, hey, it ain't soccer. You're just an American. It's football.
Yeah.
But anyways, I guess kind of go back, give people a little. I mean, you said you're 26. You kind of mentioned you played soccer already, but kind of give people a little intro on what you do, why you do it. Obviously, that's probably a really good way to go with some things, and I know that'll spark a lot of conversation with us because we're all about the why. So. So yeah, kind of start from, I mean, if you want to start from baby Tim, start from baby Tim, but
it sounds like I'm about to give y'all the David Imanite answer. You know, it started a long time ago, but no, I won't start with baby Tim. You know, I grew up around business. So, not that I was personally wealthy or that I was specifically rich or had a golden spoon. I grew up around people that did. My family owned an accounting firm. I worked there, not like full time, but like you do the summers, you do the winters, you learn how to do filing, you level your way up. So my whole entire life, I knew I was never going to be an employee. Like I worked, like I think there's value in working. Like my kids will for sure work, because there's value in lessons in that, time management, people skills, humility, everything, So for me, it's like my whole entire life, I knew I was going to do something. I just didn't know what it was, and I got to this point. I was 21 years old. Actually, a mentor of mine was a professor at the university who literally passed away this week. And it's so crazy because without this person, I don't know if I would be doing what I'm doing right now, because it's crazy. This is a crazy story. I did a lot of ministry work in college. When I did my master's degree, my thesis, my school still uses it. And so it's how to take how do you take student athletes in a cross-cultural setting and still preach the gospel, right? At a competitive level, because we want to go play professional teams, right? So we're competitive at the same, like it was the training module, I created it. And when I got to Costa Rica where I was doing it, was my third time there. And
third time, oh my God.
Yeah, it was my third time there. I went a fourth for fun right after. Santiago actually was my translator when I was there. He's on the team. One of the first people that got started with me in our organization. And I was offered the head sports ministry position. The Costa Rican government was building a brand new stadium that Christ for the City International was going to be using for ministry work. And they offered me the head position. And it was a offer of a lifetime. an American guy, 21 years old, not fully understanding the language, but almost there, picked, hand selected from the owner of CFCI to run this program. And I had this conversation with Professor Masua, and he said, hey, there's tons of people doing ministry right now, but not everyone has the brain that you do. You have a skill set to make money, and you know how to lead people, right? And the kingdom needs people like you. And I pursued business, but I didn't pursue business with my family. I pursued business where I could actually align that desire for helping people, but then also bring in my skill sets for business and say, okay, cool, I can show you how to scale a business. I can show you how to invest. I can show you how to get plugged in and network with the right people, but then do it with the proper intention at the same time. You're not recruiting people to an organization, but sponsoring people and hearing and listening to what they want, creating that game plan so they can get to where they want to go. I think we do pretty well. We have 1,400 students in over 20 countries now. The company's gone from $1 million. My brand is at $3 million right now, but our overall company has gone from $1 million to over almost $500 million at this point. So, we've done a lot of cool things, and to me, that was the why. It was just like I couldn't find fulfillment in being an accountant. Mm-hmm. I would get the paycheck. I would have the title, I would have the status, I would be well known. I'm not going to say the name of the firm or the people that we work with, but we do big name companies. We've created big name companies decades ago that are faces of industries right now. It's an extremely successful, organization that my grandfather created, but it wasn't for me, and I just wanted something more. And this is what fell into my lap. The journey was absolutely awful in the beginning. I was with all the wrong people, doing all the wrong things, having all the wrong types of mindsets. And, luckily I just got on a call with a random dude from the internet, and I followed that individual's vision and got to where I am today. And yeah, man, I'm a normal dude with just big dreams, and I want to help other people do the same exact thing. That's something that I say to people all the time. And Marselis does calls to me quite frequently, and, Marselis will edify me and talk about who I am. And I say, man, those things are amazing. And a lot of people look at me for where I am right now, but I don't want you to look for me where I am. I want to look me straight in the eyes, right? Because there's no difference between me and you. And I know what you're about to go through is exactly what I went through as well. And you should have confidence in that, because as long as you follow those steps, you're going to get to where you want to go. And that's something that's really, really exciting, because I can't do that in an accounting firm. You can give me your taxes and I'll save you money, right? You can give me your business idea and I can find you a team of people to make that happen. You can come to us with how much money you have and how we can get you into a lower tax. I can do all those things. There's no true impact. So, I hope that's a pretty good answer, a pretty good explanation, how I got to where I was. But yeah, man, that decision, I'll remember that moment for the rest of my life. Literally sitting on the soccer field, just me and him. There was people around. It was after a game, and we just sat there for an hour and spoke. And he just poured into me, and that conversation changed my life. It's something I'll remember forever. And when people ask me, do you have any regrets? And I don't have a regrets, but I do wonder. I do wonder what would happen if I made that decision to do it. But I would never take back the relationships I've made, the places I've gone to, the things that we've done. I'm beyond grateful for it. God's given me an amazing life, and it's only just the beginning. And that's what's really exciting about this. So, I hope that's a really good answer for you.
100%. 100%. That was a lot. It was a lot to take in. Personally, the one thing that a lot of people are probably wondering is, you had like a family, a stable family like situation, right? You could work at the accounting firm. It was a good spot. You're going to be making money. You could pursue the family business, but you decided to go down the road and go to college. And then you had that one thing pop up within Costa Rica. Like, they gave you a job pretty much. Mm-hmm. The big thing is, people are probably wondering what made you. Obviously your professor had a lot of influence in that. He's your mentor, a lot of influence in that. Did you just go in guns a-blazing, or like, did you pause a little bit, think about it, and really take it in? Or was it that 1 hour conversation that made you go, hey, I need to do this?
You know what? I think I've never actually thought about this, but I think you asking this question is the first time I've ever had this realization. I think I was scared, to be honest. Like, I think I was fearful of moving to another country by myself and taking on such a massive role, and maybe not thinking I was worthy for it. In business, I knew it. I know it. that's like a comfortability zone for me, speaking on stages, training people, getting in a student tie. Like, I'll talk to you if you're a college dropout or a CEO. It doesn't matter to me who you are. I know who I am, and that's all that matters. And so I was comfortable in that. And I think there was fear. It was a fear. I don't want to say it was a fear-based decision, but there was definitely fear in taking that leap of faith. And doing this was a leap of faith. Like, when I did this full time, I cut my income by like my income was 1/5 of what I would make at the firm. So that's a big jump, leaving college to, you're going to be taking on bills. You got rent, you got your car, you got the student loans, you got things going on, you got a significant other, and you're like, damn, like my income is 5 times less than what it was if I did this. So there was a leap of faith. There was fear still in that, but I definitely think I was most scared of the other option for sure.
100%. I mean, for me, since I know you, I knew you were going to go down that road, but I feel like getting that explanation out there for people that are possibly in the same situation. Sorry, I kind of stumbled over my words. Is something good to kind of put out in the world. Because a lot of people think they think in the moment. They don't think for what they're aspiring to be. They don't think in it's, they don't really take in. They know where they want to go, but then they're too worried about why. Okay, like your 1/5 income, right? That's something on most people that's going to be like, damn, that's a big deal breaker. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They don't really know
That's what
where that's all
separates
going to
people,
come
though.
from. Yeah, exactly. 100%.
That's what's going to separate those who to go and become that level 5 leader, that legacy leader, or that pinnacle leader, or they become that success story. It's what's going to separate people. And I think on the deathbed, people will remember that decision. When you have that flash before you're gone, you'll remember it. You may not regret it because your life was probably still, good. You live, if you live in the United States, you have a pretty good life. So, yeah, here's the thing. Most people become anxious, right? They become scared. They get all these emotions because they're more focused on the outcome than just focused on the moment. Right. The outcome's irrelevant. If we have a desire, that outcome is done. Right. I can go all into this sauce, but like the outcome is done. Right. It's irrelevant. It's like ordering food off a menu. Whatever you order, you're going to get. You just got to set the table long enough to receive it. It's the same thing with your goals, desires, and dreams. You want it. Okay, cool. Outcome's done. And I tell people success is you have to have 100%, right? People always talk about the spiritual side of success and that's how you become successful. No, that's only 95% of it. The other 5% is your actions that actually prove whether or not you believe in what you're saying out loud. When people aren't doing what they're saying out loud, it means they don't actually believe in what they're saying, right? So in our company, we talk a lot about becoming a chairman. People chant chairman, but then they go home and they don't do shit. Right? They don't want to talk to no one. They don't want to do the personal development. They don't want to lose sleep. They don't want to travel. They don't want to spend the money. Their actions don't align with what they're saying. Therefore, they don't actually believe it. So you have like 1%. You don't have 95%. You're like 1%. And I think something that I had to ask myself was, when I wake up, am I excited to go to work, quote unquote? Am I excited to grind? And I don't care what day it is, whether it's a Wednesday, a Saturday, a Sunday, or a Monday, I'm excited. And some people will say, I'd rather be paid and secure than happy. And that just wasn't going to fly for me, because money is money. That's something that you can get all the time. Right. But we have one chance at this life. We have one. I would rather fail right on my face and suck and end up homeless than be secure and regret. Because that's no way to live life, in my opinion. So I think people that are listening right now, you really ask yourself, like, at the end of my life, like, how do I want to feel? And yeah, it's gonna suck ass. Like nothing good is going to feel good in the beginning, right? It's like going to the gym. It's changing your habits. It's like when I hated reading, I had to start loving reading, right? It's going to suck, and you have to be okay with that in the beginning, and just know that you're made in God's image. We're all the same spiritual DNA. If one person's done it, you can do it too. There's no difference between you and I, or you or anyone else. The only difference is the people that become successful never quit. Whether it takes 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, it doesn't matter. You're going to work for 40 anyways. So you might as well put that work in now and save yourself that time later. Take that leap of faith. Like, if you have that vision right now, if there's something that you're waking up and you're thinking about every single day, and it's like, it's just draining you because you're not doing it, you need to go do it. That vision was bestowed upon you for a reason. And it doesn't matter, right? This is something I think is really important. It doesn't matter if other people don't see that same vision. There was a reason why they weren't given it, right? The difference is, as long as you hold the faith to that vision, they'll see the outcome, right? Because the vision, that's phase one. The outcome is the fruit of the labor. It's the fruit of the faith. It's okay, I saw it, I'm going to go do it. People will see the outcome. Then they'll say, you know, I had someone do this, man. I always believed in you, bro. You know, I always believed in you. I just, you know, 2-3 years ago, I just didn't want to get, no, bro. You didn't believe in yourself. I didn't need you to believe in me, right? I don't need anyone to believe in me. I need you to believe in you. And I think that's where a lot of people are at. It's just like, there's fear, man. I feel like fear is the topic we can talk about just for hours. Like, we'll be stuck on this podcast for hours if we just talk about fear. But I'm sure there's tons of things you guys want to talk about as well. So I won't ramble on much longer here.
Sheesh. Obviously, you had the vision when you had that chance to, you know, sit where you at, be at accounting, be a part of the business. You was like, I guess you probably just sat and juggled. Was like, you know, I can get that paycheck, or I can just go out. So that was amazing. I appreciate you for saying that. And also, I heard Steve Harvey say that on my live. I talked about that today. And one thing I like to do, I like to analyze my life from where I'm 100 or 90, because I want to live around in that range, 90 to 100 years old. So I say, what I'm doing today, will it make me be satisfied when I'm 90 years old, rocking in my dang chair back and forth, thinking about my life before my last days is about to be? Would I be satisfied? Would I have regrets? Would I be mad at myself for not taking a chance on what I was envisioning or wanting to do back in my 20s? So that's why I work at it every single day. But yeah, even like you said, even if it did take 20 years, you would only be 26, or not 26, you'd be 46, 26, and you'd be 46 in 20 years. So basically, if you live to be like 90 something years old, you still have like 40 some more years to freaking live life and go after your dreams and goals. And a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of the people that we look up to don't really hit that benchmark until they're like 30s, 40 something years old. And then they call them overnight success, quote unquote, Gary Vaynerchuk.
Warren Buffett.
He's
one of the biggest ones. He wasn't a millionaire till he was like 40 or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, one of the world's best investors, and he doesn't even like calling himself an investor. That's the funniest thing. You know, so yeah, I'm with you.
So where do you see yourself in the next 3 to 5 years?
Sheesh, bro. you really want me to get into this one?
Yeah.
You know, in the next 3 to 5 years, I do see us maxing out the compensation plan of our company. That's something that's 1,000% going to be done. You know, one of my main goals this year is to professionalize myself. And what I mean by that is connecting with more professionals, thinking like a professional. A lot of people I look up to, or a lot of people that are very successful in my industry, think very different. They're thinking for the long term. You know, they're thinking about, you know, generations ahead of them. And so for me, I'm looking into a lot more conservative options this year. You know, so when I'm 40 years old, there's 40 million sitting in the bank I never touched. You know, when my kids are 6 generations deep, there's still trust funds they didn't even know about. There's things like that I'm thinking about this year that are really, really important to me. I think real estate's a really important game. I'm just waiting to see how the board's going to play, the cards that are going to be dealt this year. You know, the world's in a very weird place, and I don't have much experience in real estate, so I'm not willing to risk something I don't have experience in. You know, that's why I find partners with more experience than me. That's what's going to make the difference. But I mean, to be honest with you, man, like one of my big goals is I want to be in 40 countries. You know, I have 16 or 17 now. You know, I want to knock that out. My mom's going to be retired this August. You know, I want to open a traditional business with my mom. There's a lot of little things I want to do. And I get to this point where I have this struggle of like, you have to say what you desire, because if you say, you want to be rich, or God will give you another dollar. But to me, it's like, I don't like limiting myself either, because I say I'm going to max out this comp plan, but you know, like right now it's $1 million a month. 3, 4, 5 years from now, it can be $5 million a month. You know, I want to impact 1 million lives, but why just 1 million? You know, so I have these ideas and things I want to do, you know, and I think for me, I have 2 not-for-profits I want to open. I'm really excited about. I already have the blueprints and everything that I did them when I was in undergrad. So a lot of little things, a lot of little successful things I just want to create. And then most importantly, I want to be able to duplicate it. You know, like I think really successful people, there's two kinds of people. There's the leeches, like the people that just suck the soul out of people and take advantage of people. And then those that understand that they were blessed with a gift. And, when you have a gift, it's not about just keeping it for yourself. It's about sharing it with other people. I don't know if a book will be in the rotation, or if I'll dive deep into, general like network marketing mentorship. I have a lot of good connections and a lot of good opportunity to go into that realm where I'm speaking on stage in front of just 100 different companies. Maybe when I'm a little bit older, I'll go that route, maybe mid 30s, 40s. A lot of this industry requires you to age a little bit. And I don't know, so that's kind of where I'm at. I mean, I'm open to receive everything, if God puts it in my sight, I want to take it. Yeah, that definitely needs to be a book for sure.
ASAP. As soon as you say, I need to pre-order it on Amazon. For sure. Man.
Yeah, book title, I really want to a title of the book I really want to talk about is like impact marketing, right? I really want to talk about that, like how to truly create an impact in someone's lives through systems, through tools, through relationship building, just really like putting everything that I've learned into one book. I love how Brian Crothers created his book, right? Building an Empire. I call it the Bible of network marketing. I don't really think I would go that route where it's extremely technical. And you guys know me, I'm a very technical trainer. I think I would go more towards like the spiritual route of like understanding the value that you have and the ability to impact someone's lives, and like doing it properly is extremely important. Like you really have one shot sometimes to, get someone to a position where they want to go. It's one of the ideas, but we got a couple in the arsenal as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, Jared, you got any questions for Tim?
I mean, it's a lot. I mean, people would think that's a lot, but I mean, a lot can happen in even like 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like people don't realize how fast things can happen, and how fast, if you want it to happen that fast, how fast you can make it happen. The big thing that I think Marselis and I are on. I mean, we want to get. I mean, our main goal is 10K at the end of this year for revenue for our company. But honestly, I'm starting to think like, man, sky's the limit. I mean, I already was thinking that, like, we're in the infancy, but like, who knows what can happen?
That's
Like
true.
I'm thinking like 3 to 5 years, I'm thinking 100 million in revenue at least. There's no reason. Like there's no reason to not think those huge numbers, those huge aspirations. A person I look up to, and I've read his book like 3 times. Grant Cardone, his 10X book is amazing.
Ooh.
Like you take that one goal and then you 10X it. You take anything that you have that you're aspiring to do, and then you 10X it. It'll just make you go harder. Screw all these little small goals, screw all these I want to brush my teeth tomorrow morning type of goals. Like fucking put it out there, hit that 100 million, have it out there, know what you want, go get it. I love that. I love every time you mention something like that, Tim, I just get riled up. I love it. I love it so much.
It's like you just need one person, bro. Like that's the thing. It's like one person post your podcast, one person post your brand, and that one person had the audience. And you weren't even expecting that audience to come in, and now all of a sudden you go from things are smooth sailing to holy shit, like how do we do this? We weren't ready for it, But here's the thing: if it happened, you were ready for it. That's just the test whether or not you're gonna keep it. That's the big part. So I would just be open to just accepting everything, man. Have those goals; they're important, benchmark goals, but just be open to just accepting everything, because you never know. And anything can change in a freaking moment, and anything can change negatively too. Mm-hmm. And so are you prepared to, get yourself, are you willing to go and go through the dirt, go through the mud towards that goal? It's like a slingshot. Sometimes you got to pull yourself a little farther back, to get to that destination you want to go to.
Mm-hmm. Take 2 steps back for 3 steps forward.
I'm gonna let you know right now. I said on the podcast, we hit 100 million in revenue. I'm getting a tattoo. I'm getting a Toyo tattoo. I swear to God. Probably on my chest or on my shoulders. Man, I am, bro. I'm gonna go ahead and put it on my body, man, because that's one of my big goals.
You just gotta get one, and then all of a sudden you're gonna have tons of them. That's what happened to me. I got one, and now I got like 14 or 15. It's just like it's nonstop.
Well, I mean, like it's a commitment though. That's hard.
You're gonna have your full body. You're gonna have your full body caked pretty soon, Tim.
Yeah, Tim's got a lot of tattoos.
My girlfriend wants to go get these like little tattoos and shit. I'm like, yo, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, if I'm going, like my whole back's done. Like it's one sitting, it's a 12 to 16 hour session. Like I'm not getting these little fairies on my arm. I'm getting some, we going all in, you know, and those, I already know what my next 2 tattoos are. It's just like, I got to sit down and be willing to take the pain for 6+ hours.
Yeah,
so,
honestly.
But I mean, pain's good, right? It grows up.
especially when you know it's gonna stick there too, and if it's got something behind it.
I remember sometimes, like I'll be like, look at my arm or look at my chest. Oh yeah, I got art. I'm like, I got a tattoo. Like, what's that? What is that thing on my body? You know, and you kind of freak out a little bit, but you get used to it, man. Eventually, you don't even think that it's there. It's just part of you. You know, I think tattoos are really important. I don't think people should get dumb tattoos. I mean, people do whatever the hell they want, right? But to me, it's like that. A tattoo is a life commitment. Yeah, you can get it removed, but like, it's a life commitment. You know, you're gonna have the scar there if you get it removed, so it ain't ever leaving. So when you make that decision to get one, know why you're getting it. You know, the why is important, like Guest said earlier.
I've been wanting to get tattoos. It's just thinking about what I want to put on. Like I feel like I'm just stressing out about what I want to put on my body. I have a lot of things that are going through my head that I want to have I want to last on my body, and it's just maybe I should just say fuck it, budget for it, and go do it. But I feel like that's just what I got to do. Like just amp myself up, going to the tattoo shop and have them start, and then I can't go back.
Now, Tim, I know you say you didn't want to go on this on the podcast. My bad for cutting you off, but you know the accountings. That's something that I needed an accountant. We need an accountant definitely if we're going to go to 100 million in this company. Yeah. We're going to need some accountants. But we'll talk about that later on. But man, this podcast has been pretty well, man. I've actually got some nuggets, and when you said trust fund for the family, oh, that lit a light bulb in my head. Gosh, I wonder how I can get started with that.
Yeah, literally. There's ways to you know, conversation for another day, but you know, bunching your family together through a trust fund, and a lot of times you'll do it through real estate properties, and you'll funnel the money through these trust funds, and it's completely tax free. I know someone that had it's like an HSA, like a health savings account, but it's tax free. And you see a lot of politicians do this. You see a lot of, you know, wealthy people, they do this. Well, wealthy people things, right? And This lady, you know, she had back problems. So she went to the doctor, and the doctor was like, oh, well, swimming will help your back. Awesome. Withdrew $156,000 from her HSA completely tax-free and built a brand new backyard with the like, how do you say, like a waterfall, the fountains. Wow. It will help her back. It was a health related thing. And so this is what a lot of wealthy people do. And this is why a lot of people get upset. It's like, you know, you can be upset, or you can just go look into what they're doing and then do it for yourself too. And I think a lot of people, the reason why I would say most people don't is because they do it for them and they're not thinking about someone else. Like for me, it's like, if I don't get there in my lifetime, that's fine. I know the generation after me is going to be taken care of. You know, how many people actually have photos of their grandparents hanging up on their wall or in their home? Most people don't, because most people's grandparents don't leave them anything, right? Because most people do most people things. So for me, it's like, not that I want to be forgotten. I just want to know, I want my family to know that I used my life to not only make sure that there was food on their plates, right, but there's food on millions of other people's plates as well. And that's something to be really proud of. Like when you think about your last name, are you proud of it? You know? And that's something that's really, really important to me. It's just that.
Sloma's going to be living on for eons, my man.
Man.
Yeah. I mean, I hope there's no little Slomas running around right now. But yeah, I think I'm safe. I think I'm good. I don't think I have any worries with that. But if they are and they're listening to the podcast, go talk to my brother. It's probably him.
Shift the blame right away.
Ah, dang. Your brother will listen to this like, what?
Oh, that's something we talked about last week too, about like the long game and everything. I feel like realizing what you're in, like what you want to do for the long game to really impact people and to really help your family out is better. Like, I mean, like you said, like you want to support the people that supported you, especially like for myself, like my parents and my family have done so much for me. So why not think about the long game for the people underneath me, and or my I should say that the people underneath me. like my children, my children's children, and let's say like my cousin's children, like, you know, like why not give back to the people that supported you and lifted you up. Obviously a dream of ours, and you're making it real this year. You already said that, is to retire our mom or retire our parents, you know. We always want to give back to the people that support us and love us and really kind of sacrificed. And personally, I haven't really realized how much they sacrificed until, I mean, really now when I guess I've realized it. I'm almost out of college and I realized how hard my parents worked to put both myself and my sister through college. So I mean, I feel like it's only right to save for the long game, to
Mhm.
do something of that magnitude for them and for people, like for my children and for my cousins and for the people that I love.
I think it's
Man.
important to always be in that mindset. You know, I call it like when people make broke boy moves. People make dumb decisions because they're broke. You know, they're not really thinking about. And Marcellus, I'm sure you've seen this. Like being in this industry, people do dumb shit to try to
Yes.
get the quick dollar instead of thinking of like, okay, like is what I'm going to do right now going to serve me more than just 5 minutes? Right, that's something that's just so important. You gotta be in that paradigm all the time. And I think it comes down to the belief level, bro. Like honestly, like when it really gets down to it, it's like, what do you believe in? You know, like because you don't really believe in what you're doing, like of course you're gonna do something stupid, you know. And so I mean, we need some Bob Proctor sauce if we really want to dive into it. But I think it really comes down to your belief, you know, and how attached you are to it. Super, super important.
Belief is the vehicle. Belief is the vehicle. Knowing and believing that you're going to do it, and knowing that you're going to do it, that's all you need to know. That's all you need to know.
Hmm.
The what in between, the what is going to get you there, that'll just, you'll figure that out. You just got to know the end game. You got to know what you want to end up with, why you're going to do it, and what it is, you know. It's just simple as that. I mean, obviously you got to do the shit too, but
Yeah. And we live in such a crazy time. Like we live in the information age, like the digital age or whatever it's called. And it's like you can go online and literally get an abundance of information, like what not to do, what to do, like so many, not cutting corners, but like so many things that you can do to cut the learning curve or expedite that process, like how to get more viewers, how to post on multiple platforms, like how to get better audio, better like the little things, you know, like the information's out there. It's never a lack of resources, it's a lack of resourcefulness. And I say that all the time because all of us have the internet. And if you don't have internet, go to your local McDonald's. Like you'll get internet, right? Even if you got to sit outside because of COVID, do it. Like is you being cold for a little bit going to stop you from your dream?
Mm.
And if it is, that's probably not your true dream. You know, it's probably just what sounds good right now.
hmm
And dude, we're just in the age where it's possible for anyone. You got little kids making millions of dollars opening up gifts on YouTube. You know, like don't tell me that you can't do something amazing. So I think it's just people got to go out there. You know, you got to go out there and take what's yours and make that shit happen.
For the person listening to this that wants to do something that they've been thinking about for weeks and months and years on end, just go do it. That's it. That's all I got to say. Jump into it, go do it. You'll figure it out on the way. Just if you're loving it and enjoying it, and that's what you want to do, that's what your dream is, what you want to do, what you're motivated to do, what you love doing, just go do it. Don't waste any more time. Just jump into it, go do it. That's it.
I think a lot of people, they actually sit and they say like, okay, why shouldn't I do it? You'll find a lot less reasons in that list than you will in the why should I do it realm,
hmm
right? So why shouldn't I do? Oh, I may fail. You may fail in anything. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I may look stupid. You look stupid now waiting so long. You know, like whatever it may be, right? The list, the why nots are so much smaller than the why you shoulds, you know, and that's really it. It's like know that there's people that believe in you, even if you don't believe in yourself. Like that's really, really important too. Like run off that belief. I always tell people I run off the vision of the future, right? I take from the vision of the future. And I was when I was in Tulum, I was sitting on the beach. I posted about this last week. No, a couple days ago when I left on the 17th on Sunday. And, you know, I was saying like, man, I'm on the beach. I'm getting breakfast served to me. I have my cup of coffee. I'm on my planner.
Nice.
I'm literally in a private spot. I have a massage. The girl's literally getting the bed ready. I'm getting a massage on the beach the third time this week. And I'm just sitting there and I'm just like embracing this moment. I'm like, man, I'm doing the same things I was doing 4 years ago. Not in like I haven't changed things. I pivoted, but I'm doing my personal development. I'm meditating. I'm talking to my team. I'm hopping on the sessions I need to be on. I'm doing the little things every single day. And what's happened is now I have the big things because every single day I just kept doing the same thing. So what I tell people is your situation is not going to change immediately, right? It's not. It took me 18 months to be able to become a full-time day trader, right? It took me 7 months to become a full-time network marketer. And so for me, it was like, that was just a grind. I didn't all of a sudden have a penthouse. I didn't all of a sudden have a nice car. I didn't all of a sudden travel the world. I was sitting in my apartment with my roommates, grinding it out. And then all of a sudden, 4 years later, I'm sitting on the beach, grinding it out. What's going to happen in 4 years? I don't know, but I'm going to keep grinding it out. And as long as you just keep doing the things that the people who have the results that you want are doing, you're just going to get there. That's why I don't like this fake it till you make it thing. Don't fake something that you're not. You already are who you are, right? You're already perfect, right? You're already perfect. There's nothing that needs to change about you. You are who you are. The difference is you have to act as if, right? You already are who you are. Because sometimes we don't act who we are. That may go over some people's head, right? That may go over some people's head. I'll make it a little bit simpler here. If you're overweight and you want to lose weight, what do you have to do? You have to act as you're fit. You got to sleep well. You got to work out. You got to diet. You got to, go do that ground game. You got to go do that groundwork. Go run those 2 miles every, twice, 2-3 times a day, right? So if you act as if long enough, you force time to catch up. You force it to catch up. It can't not catch up to where you want to be. It cannot not say, okay, you cannot become that person because you already are that person. You're doing the things that are that person. All of a sudden, a couple months, a couple years went by, you're in a different realm, a different reality, quote unquote, a different time frame, quote unquote, right? You're that person. You already are that person, right? Time just caught up. And I think that's the most important thing is don't worry about where you're at. Don't worry about what you don't have. Just keep doing it every single day. You already are a millionaire. You've already impacted 1 million people. You already own the biggest non-for-profit. You already have the most viewed podcast. You already have the most viewed brand. Whether it's showing in the bank account, the back office, the views or not, it doesn't matter. You already are. As long as you act as if, you're going to force time to catch up and you're going to get there. That's why I would say to someone right now who's struggling, who's taking that leap of faith and like, maybe I made a mistake, because there's a lot of people in that realm too, right? We always talk about the people, you got to take the leap, but what about the people that took the leap and now they're like, fuck, we got to talk to those people too. I think that's like a forgotten realm. So many motivational speakers talk about the leap. They never talk about what happens after, right? And I think that's a realm of people that really need to be targeted and helped, because they'll find a way back up to that hill and just chill, and it won't be through a plane to the other side. It'll be like a little escalator with the devil on their hands saying, oh, I told you it was better over here, right? So that's something I would say to people. It's just like, man, like it's going to happen for you too. I remember wanting to quit so many times. Like I had the biggest safety net. The biggest safety net. I was Gucci. Whether I did this or not, it didn't matter, right? But I had to burn that ship. And tell myself there is no plan B, there is no plan C. This is plan A, and I'm going to work this route till successful. And no one's going to tell me otherwise. I don't care how much you hate on me. I don't care how much you talk shit. I don't care how much you're going to tell me it's not. I don't care. It's going to work for me because I made that decision and I committed to it. And no one can tell me I'm not worthy to have what someone else has. That's why I don't feel bad anymore about saying things I want. I used to feel bad, like, man, I want a couple boats. I want a couple nice cars. I just feel bad about that. I'm like, oh man, maybe you only need one. No, fuck that. I want what I want. I'm not gonna feel bad about it. Because if I got those things, right? Think about this. If I got those things, it was simply just by a byproduct of helping enough people. You only get paid by helping people. That's why people get paid what they get paid, right? It's how many problems can you solve. That's the difference between a CEO and a janitor. Janitor's going to mop the floor. You're going to get paid what you get paid for. You may help the people. You may be a good impact. I'm not saying you're less worthy of a human being, but the CEO is solving problems. The CEO is getting paid for a reason. That's why there's few of them, because not everyone can do that. And so it's the same thing with this. If I can afford 3 boats, that means I did some dope shit.
Yeah, that's facts.
And if I could afford 3 boats, I just paid for probably 1,000+ people's jobs, because they got to make the boat, they got to make the parts, they got to do those things. And so I stopped caring about feeling bad about materialistic things, right? And like I said, I love ministry too. I'm not talking about I can't not love Jesus, right, and have nice things. It doesn't make any sense, right? Like, no, I'm not going to do that. Am I going to love those things like I love him? Of course not. I can't take those things when I'm gone, right? But to me, they're byproducts of impact. Like, that's a byproduct of impact. Like, that's not the goal. If the goal is the impact, the money's coming, right? The money's going to come in abundance. But you gotta make sure you're focusing on the right thing, because if you're only focused on money, you're probably not going to make money the way you want to. You'll probably get in trouble. But if you're focusing on the right thing, I think you'll be good. I mean, I hope that hits for someone, whether it's one person or a lot. I hope that hits, because that's something I thought deeply about this, like, first couple weeks of 2021. I thought deeply about it. And I was like, damn, like, we did it. We did it. And the coolest part is, I'm like, I feel like this is just the end of chapter 1. There was a lot of chapters to go,
Yeah, it hit me like Mike Tyson. I ain't gonna lie. This whole time I'm sitting back, man. I like the part where you were talking about where motivational speakers tell you about the leap, but they'll tell you about the journey and the process getting through there. There's only a few motivational speakers that do talk about that. One of them is Eric Thomas. That's one thing I like about him a lot, is the fact he talks about the process. And one question that I was wanting to ask you about that. Well, when was the toughest time in your whole business career or in your life, as an entrepreneur?
I mean, there's 2 I always talk about, and I don't really think that they're necessary for this, because it's like if we were talking pertaining about like systems and things like that, I learned a lot about systems in the beginning, and then I learned a lot about just like the mental side. Actually, when we were in London. London was probably the hardest time for me personally, and it was also the best time. My first time sitting chairman. It was my first time. I was right in front row next to Christopher Terry, right in front of Bob Proctor. A lot of good things were happening, but a lot of bad things were also happening too that I was dealing with. I think there's a really good book, and I recommend this book to everyone. And I think that if you read this book in the beginning of your journey, it will make it a lot easier. It's called The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster by Darren Hardy. That book changed everything for me. I put everyone on that book. I love it. Anyone going through some shit, Outwitting the Devil, Entrepreneur Roller Coaster. Those 2 books right there, you're golden. You're golden. Those are going. I listen to Outwitting the Devil frequently. Like, if I'm just bored, I want to listen to something, that's the book that gets turned on. It's like my go-to audio. So something that I learned in business, I mean, like, and you learn a lot, bro. Like, you really learn a lot. Like, my master's was organizational leadership. Right. So it was pretty much like C-class coaching. Like, it was consulting. In essence, is what it was. Like, if I was to be hired, I would be hired into like a consulting firm that would go help companies become better. I don't know, man. Like, I think that something major I've learned in business is, like, I've learned so much. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, Marcel, what's something that you've learned massively in business? Like, you've been doing this now for a while, and you've had your trials. Like, what's something that you've learned?
Patience, man. Literally,
that's a good one.
Sharpen the axe before you get ready to chop the tree down. Be ready, be prepared, and understand that if you're going backwards or something's happening in your life, just understand it's almost like a slingshot. You're getting pulled back to go way further as you keep on grinding and working, and understand that we're kind of like plants, right? You put the seed in the ground, then you put the dirt on it, fertilize it, all that other stuff, put the water on it, then it grows. I feel like entrepreneurship is the same way. When you're going through stuff and going through those growing pains, it's literally just dirt, just to allow you to grow and flourish. If you're putting out enough value, if you impact enough people, and if you keep going, you'll get there. Like you said, I've been doing it for a while. I've been putting out videos for a while. I've been doing other things, personal training, and Forex, network marketing. I even done eBay, and I had people recruit me in other companies like insurance companies, Herbalife. I was even wanting to get it where my YouTube channel was making enough money, and I ended up getting to like 1.3 thousand subscribers, which is not a whole lot of subscribers. And I remember one of my videos getting like 24K in views, and I was just like, wow, I thought I made it then, but like now I sit back and I'm like, dude, you're really not shit. And I'm not saying that as in a bad way, discourage myself, but to allow myself to keep fighting and keep going to a bigger and better level. So yeah, I've learned a lot in entrepreneurship about myself.
There's a quote that I like. I heard this from a guy who did insurance, and he said you need to have urgency and information, patience with results. And it was like, I'm always in the hunt, right? I'm always in the hunt, but I'm okay with where I'm at. I have that piece of outcome. I'm patient. I know it's coming, but I'm always hunting. I'm always hunting. And I was like, damn, that's a super fire quote. You know, I think I'll go back to that biggest thing I learned is just the acting as a concept, you know, like you just have to do more. You just have to do what successful people are doing, bro. I feel like that's it. That's the secret. You know, just do what the people that you're looking up to are doing. And you do that long enough, all right, you'll get to where you want to go. It's the cheat code, you know. It's like normal people, I'll say. I don't really want to call them normal people, but like people that work jobs, right? They're doing what other people are doing, so that's why they get those results. They're doing what they're told. They're doing who they look up to, their mom, their dad, their teacher, you know, their boss, and that's why they're at where they're at, you know. And so who are you listening to, right? What are you doing every single day? What do you believe in? You know, those are some just key things. But man, I've learned so much. Business, like I always say this, like if you can become successful in network marketing, right, you can become successful in anything. It doesn't matter the industry, man. Like politics, corporate America, nothing.
Not politics.
You can become successful in anything, right? And so I think that's something that's really big for me. It's just like this industry is the doorway to entrepreneurship, and it's like the doorway to personal development. Like this industry makes people better for sure.
What kind of music do you like, Tim?
Oh, I like everything, bro. I'm not an anti-music person. I understand that music is created for certain reasons, right? So I get my sometimes I get my craziness with my Meek Mill, you know. Sometimes, you know, I'm listening to country music. Sometimes I'm listening to dance music. Sometimes I'm listening to, you know, I'm all into bandas, you know. Marselis, you see me in action.
Man, that daggum hat, bro. That straw hat.
Bro, I lost the hat, bro. That was a $200 hat. I lost. I was so pissed. It was dipped and everything. I left it at the freaking rent-a-car spot. I hated that place. Dude, Mexico, if you're American, bro, they're scamming you. Like, they're scamming you. Like, 1,000%. Like, not in, like, the normal places, but, like, anything touristy, scam. Hell no. Like, you're getting scammed. Not only did I get scammed, I lost my hat. So it was just a bad day. I was like, man, fuck it. But, yeah, I mean, I listen to everything, bro. Like, I don't hate music. I definitely don't listen to it as often as I used to. Like, I used to be all into the rave. I used to rave a lot. Like, I used to dance and go travel and a lot, like all the time. I loved it. I love dancing. I love everything. I love music. I love what it does to people. I love what it can do to people. So yeah, I mean, everything really. As long as it sounds good and I like it, I'll listen to it.
I hate that thing. Like, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there's a conception where you're really into personal development or you only listen to music. Like, I don't know a lot of the times it doesn't seem like there's a middle ground, but damn, I love both too much. It's hard not to find a middle ground for that. Music is so powerful. I was actually talking about this with my buddies. Music, like, at least for me, it has a lot of emotional attachment to it. Like, some songs, like, there's a handful of Post Malone songs that remind me of my graduation, like my high school days. Oh my gosh, high school days. I'm only 3.5 years out. Let's be honest. But like, the big thing with music that I am just attached to is the emotional effects and like the I guess the nostalgia that it like brings back. Like, everyone knows, like, those songs that you heard in middle school. Like, every time you hear them or every time you hear the artist, moments pop into your head. They come and all these memories flush in. Like, it's too nostalgic, too much of an impact music has had for me not to.
There's a lot of programming. That's for sure. Music, I would say, definitely 1,000% programs minds. Like, so be careful what you listen to.
Yeah, I can't listen to X no more. Well, I ain't gonna say that. I do like okay, for instance, I'll go to the gym. Last time I went to the gym, I play some X songs, and you know, he'll get crazy. He got the singing songs, and he got the songs where he's almost like, smash a nigga forehead. You know, he like crazy shit like that. But yeah, you know, XXXTentacion, he'll get you hype, man. Sometimes I'll listen to stuff like that, and then of course I'll
There's
listen
moments.
to
There's moments for it. You know, you gotta know when those moments are.
Yeah, for sure. And music is always a good thing to listen to whenever you're probably in a crummy mood. Because, you know, personal development is good and all, but if you want to like instantly change your state, listen to something that's going to get you hype and just be, man.
Listen to something that's just going to make you smile, make you get up and want to dance, make you get up and want to just move.
It's important when you're listening to personal development, like what's your intention when you're listening it to? Like, are you open to receive that information? Because you can just put on personal development and then just be in a worse mood. You're just in a shitty frequency anyways, you know? So I think it's really important, like when you are listening to PD, like you got to be in a paradigm or a mindset of like, I'm here to receive, and not only receive, go apply, right? Because most people just listen to books. They don't listen to trainings. They listen to seminars and they don't go do shit. They do nothing, absolutely freaking nothing. And that's the problem. You're better off just going to listen to music. At least it make you feel good for a little bit, you know? So PD is one of those things where I think you really have to come into the right mindset with it. Whereas music can shift a mindset. Personal development, I think you have to come in with a mindset. I don't know if that makes sense, if you guys agree with that or not. But
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it does. 100%. It does make sense. Yeah, because you come to personal development to learn and be like, okay, I'm messing up. I'm not disciplined enough. My bank account ain't where I want it to be. I need, you know, the true motivation. I need to go and act on this, or maybe I need to get better at speaking or negotiating or handling things. But music is just, yeah, like you said, it can change your mindset quickly, and it's just something that can lift you up. Yeah.
I feel like it's the same with, I mean, I guess I don't know where
it's 50-50 with it, but
yeah. I was gonna say it's the same with reading, but reading is personal development. So I don't know why I was gonna say that. That kind of falls underneath the realm. So yeah.
I struggle with reading, bro. Like I do really good at reading on planes. I can read on a plane the whole flight, but like sitting down in my, like there's too many distractions. Like audiobooks are my best friends, man. Like if I'm training, like when I was training doing the building your empire trainings, I'd read the book because I needed like the information, you know. But a lot of the times, like I'm just listening to audios. Like I do it in short spurts, take the information, take some notes, and then move on. Or listen to certain things repetitively. Like I remember when I listened to Your Wish Is Your Command, like I did this backwards, bro. Like I think I did it the right way, actually. I did like 1 to 7. And how many chapters are there? There's 12, right? I did 1 to 6.
It might be, maybe 13 or 14, or somewhere around that range. 12 to 14, I know.
Yeah, I just know I did the first half twice, second half twice, whole thing through. And I was like, I have to listen to this as like I'm studying it for an exam because the information was just so intense. Like I wasn't comfortable going to the next section yet. I'm like, man, I want to listen to that again. You know, again and again. It's so funny. Like you hear those quotes you recognize a lot, but then you hear something else, you're like, hold on a minute. You know, and that's why books are so cool, is because how you this is it. Like this is it. How you receive information, right? It's going to determine the value you get from that book. Because you and I can read the same book and you can think it sucks. I read it, I'm receiving the information coming in. I'm like, this is the best thing that's ever been created by man, you know? And so the same thing happens when you read the book 3 years, 4 years later, and you're like, wow, like this is extremely perspective changing. You're like, well, you hear me say something on a training, right, Marselis, and then all of a sudden you hear Jason saying, you're like, oh, yep, makes sense. I'm gonna go off and do it. But it was just Jason saying it, you know, same shit. Jason just said it. And so sometimes it's the person, sometimes it's how you're receiving it, what you're willing to receive in that moment. That's why I always tell people, like the Bible's the living word, because when you read it, it's talking to you, right? And depending on where you're at, it's how you're going to receive that information, you know? So yeah, I mean, PD's cool, bro. PD does a lot of cool stuff to you.
I never would have gotten into, like, I mean, I have probably eventually would have, but not anywhere close to where I am now with PD unless I came in contact with you and Mike and Brady and everyone. Damn, like you guys have opened my eyes to crazy shit. I never even like when I was in high school and I just started college, I never even thought I'd be listening to it and like wanting to listen to it. Like, yeah, maybe I'd listen to it because someone told me to, but like, would I want to listen to it again? Probably not. But now, like, I never saw the value in it until like I really had to sit down and open my mind to it, and people had to be, hey, like this shit's good. Like, okay, I'll listen to, okay, you keep living it up. You keep telling me, I see what you're doing. I want to listen to what you're listening to. Okay, sure.
Bro,
Shit. No,
I'll tell you right now, John Guaman, bro, saved me like straight up, because when he gave me 2 books when I lost my business. And it was just because it was, my business was Tim driven. The business wasn't doing anything if Tim wasn't doing anything. No one's studying. It was Tim. All right. The business you could have called it Tim. That was it. There's 75 people in the team, but it was Tim. And he gave me Outwitting the Devil and How to Win Friends and Influence People. I was going to quit. At that time, I was having issues with uplines. You know, I was having issues with things I didn't like that were happening just in the company overall. I was just like, dude, fuck this. Like,
Thank God
like,
you didn't quit.
and that's what I'm saying. It's like, if it wasn't for Outwitting the Devil book, I would not be here today. Like, hands down. I mean, there's there's things I can say that statement a lot, but I can also connect the dots going backward and saying it was that was one of those moments. That was one of those books where we wouldn't be having this conversation today. We probably would have never met each other if it wasn't for that book. Because that book was like, that's what did it for me. It was like, okay, like, this is temporary situation. There's a reason for why this is happening. I remember why I started this in the first place. Is this one downfall going to stop me from achieving my ultimate goal? And if the answer is no, then shut up, buckle up, and let's go. You know, so like that was something really big for me. Like, personal development, I began to want it. It's like in school, we learn, regurgitate, right? You learn, take a test, move on. Learn, take a test, move on. Where it's like, in this realm, it's we search for information because it's information that we desire and information that we want. And that's what's so cool about time freedom is, you know, you want to learn more about physics. Cool. You don't need to go get a degree. You have time freedom. Go online, start going to seminars, you know, start subscribing to certain articles and magazines, right? Different YouTube channels. Like, I tell people all the time, like, if you follow the right people on TikTok, like, there's so much I learned so much about real estate on TikTok. Like, really crazy, just following the right people, listening to what they're saying, what they're doing. So much about influence on TikTok, like following marketing trends and getting an audience, how to gain an audience, like how to create engagement. Like, there's a lot you can learn. It's just, you have to desire it and go out and get it. It's there. It's all there, you know? Side tangent to what I was getting to with personal development, but
that's all right.
PD changes the game.
PD makes you go on those, makes you get riled up. Sometimes it hits that nerve. Just makes you got to keep going. Well, I mean, it's been about an hour. Mm-hmm. That's usually how long our episodes take. We don't really like taking in a lot of time away from our guests. I know they have their separate lives. I know you obviously have stuff to do after this. So usually the hour is about it. So, I mean, if anyone else has anything to say, you want any closing thoughts or kind of closing statements to leave an impact, I guess we'll say that now. If you want to say anything, Tim, you got anything extra to add?
And I think we went through all of it on this call. You know, I'm not right on this, you know, podcast. I got to get used to saying that. You know, and I would just say, you know, make sure you guys are plugging into this information. Like, if you're listening to this once, listen to it again. And don't just listen to this episode, listen to the episodes that are coming. There's valuable information here and it's free, right? There's literally, that's the craziest part about this. You know, make sure you subscribe, make sure that, you know, you're reaching out. Like, this is the time to get connected to these two individuals, because this is the come up. And each and every single one of you that are subscribed, listening and staying loyal to this are going to see it happen. And I'm excited for you guys to see it happen. And I'm also really excited to see what happens in your guys' lives, whether I get to physically see it or not. But I hope one day that, you know, when you're on stage or you're receiving an award, you know, you look back at listening to this podcast or listening to these two speak, whether it's with themselves or a guest, and you say, there was a moment, there was a phrase, there was something that happened that got me here. But the thing is, if you allow yourself to miss it, right? If you allow yourself to miss that opportunity, you may not get there. So stay plugged in, right? Stay plugged in, stay connected to the source. These guys are going to do it. This podcast is going to blow up. You guys are going to do the same exact thing. I'm just super excited. I look forward to the day I get to come back on here. I know you guys got lineup worth of guests, so I'm sure it'll be a couple months, but I'm looking forward to the day. And I'm just super blessed and grateful that I got to do this with y'all.
Let's go. Hope everybody has a great night. That was a T.O.D. project with my man Tim Sloma and Jared Klein. Oh man. Oh my God. This was finer than wine. Like literally, we just had so many gems. I may have to go back and listen to this again myself.
You guys, thank you for coming out to episode 13 of the T.O.D. Project today with Tim Sloma. Virtually give this man a round of applause. Thank you for coming on. Yes, Tim, you obviously are always welcome back. But yes, down below you will see Tim's Instagram link. Look, follow his Instagram. Connect with this man. He has changed both our lives immensely. But yeah, thank you for coming out. And we will see you guys next episode.